Welcome back, my Duelist friends. Casual Duelist here. It is Monday, so again, let's start the week off great. And to do this, I have for you guys my Merfolk deck from the Ixalan sets. No, not Ixalan. Ixalan. Oh my goodness. Ixalan, for those of you that are curious, is the Aztecian sort of country in a video game called Skies of Arcadia that was originally released on the Dreamcast and then re-released on the GameCube, and then I believe never again. Sorry for that, but if you guys go check it out, it's kind of cool. It was a fun game. Either way, we are doing a blue-green block build Merfolk deck. So real quick, you're going to need 10 each of the forests and the islands. So this is going to be a quick third of your deck. And then we're going to move on to, we're going to do the monsters. Then we're going to do the instants and sorceries and stuff. Maybe it's just instants in this deck. Looks like it's all instants and a couple of enchantments. So let's get it. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to be playing 4 copies of the Deeproot Champion. Now, you will notice that I do, in fact, have this foily one. He looks awesome. At first, I thought he was an alternate art, and it just turns out I'm mistaken. So he is a 1/1 Merfolk Shaman that casts in on 2. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, you may place a 1/1 counter on the Deeproot Champion. And the way that this deck works, you might as well bust out your D&D dice because you might need them. So again, he's just going to get real strong, but it's non-creature spells. Of course, we do play a lot of instants, so we could do this. Next up, we are going to be playing 3 copies Herald of Secret Streams. This is going to be a Merfolk Warrior. It's going to be a 2/3 that casts in on 4. Creatures you control with +1/1 counters on them may not be blocked. So again, for those of you who've been playing Magic for a while, you guys know what land walking abilities are and everything. You guys know how Shadow works. This is just better because, again, they can still block. It's just good. Plus, again, it's not going to be hard to give him counters too, so he's going to get the same effect before long. Next up, we do run a legendary card. We're going to play 2 copies of him. It's going to be Coppola, the Warden of Waves. He is a 2/2 wizard that's going to play in on 3. Spells your opponent cast that target a merfolk you control cost 2 generic more to cast. So, meaning if they do not have this surplus of mana to do this, basically negate, or they just can't activate. So we get to stun them. Additionally, abilities your opponent activate that target a merfolk that you control also cost +2 more mana generically in order to activate. So again, you can see why we run extra copies of Coppola. It's just good. It's very good. Protection is always amazing. Next up, we're going to be running 4 copies of Kumina's Speaker. This is going to be a 1/1 on 1. This little shaman here says that it gets +1/1 as long as you control another merfolk or an island. And in a green-blue deck, this is extremely easy to do. Not even going to lie to you. Next up, 3 copies of the Tempest Caller. It's going to be another merfolk wizard. This one casts in on 4. It is a 2/3. When this one enters the battlefield, tap all creatures target opponent controls. So not only is this card good in this format, in block, was it not only good when this was Type 2 standard, good for modern, commanders. Like, basically, if this card's legal, like, this card is amazing, and it doesn't matter if you're playing a singleton format or not. So this is good. Play it. Enjoy it. Next up, we're going to play 1 copy of Tishana, Voice of Thunder, probably because this is the only one I had. This one's going to cast in on 7. This one actually needs both colors of mana. Also legendary. Power and toughness here are equal to the number of cards in your hand. Additionally, you have no maximum hand size. Additionally, when she enters the battlefield, draw a card for every creature you control. So, again, this is another really great card. I would play this at 2 if I had to. I'd probably just back off of one of my land cards. Additionally, this would make an excellent commander, especially in the fact that where you would have no hand size. So, pretty cool stuff. Next up, we are going to be running 3 copies of Tishana's Wayfinder. This is going to be a Merfolk Scout. It's going to be a 2/2 on 3. When it enters the field, it explores. Now, the way this effect works, reveal the top card of your library, put that card into your hand if it's a land. Otherwise, place a 1/1 counter on this creature, then put the card back or into the graveyard. So it's not exactly scry, but we do get the ability to get a 1/1 counter. And again, as you remember, once we get the 1/1 counters, our cards become unblockable, which means that this could become unblockable, which means it's awesome. And then last creature spell we're going to be using, 3 copies of the Vine Shaper Mystic. And not to get too off topic, but I do this all the time. This sort of reminds me of, I don't remember which season it was, but like the water vine benders from Avatar: The Last Airbender with Aang. This is kind of cool too, just like in the art and the aesthetics. It is going to be a shaman. It's 1/3 on 3. When it enters the battlefield, place a 1/1 counter on each of up to 2 target merfolk that you control. So of course you can give it to this card, turn it into a 2/4, as well as any one of the other cards. And again, because there's 1/1 counters, we can start talking about being unblockable. So again, good creature spell lineup. Moving into the instance, I'm going to be using 2 copies of Crash the Ramparts. And again, can we just talk about the art again real quick? I love the fact that this set had dinosaurs. This lets target creature get 3/3 and trample until the end of the turn. And again, I mean, with a sentence like that, what other effect do you really need? Next, we're going to use 4 copies of Opt. This is going to be the Scry 1. Look at the top card of your library, put it at the top at the bottom, and then draw 1 card. So you will resolve these in order, so you can choose, do I want that card or do I want the next one? So it's all good. Next up, and this is when it's going to make so much sense to you guys, is going to be the River Herald's Boon. So this one's going to cast on 2. Place a 1/1 counter on target creature and a 1/1 counter on up to 1 target merfolk. Now, because of the way this is worded, you may, of course, choose the same card twice because it's target creature. I'm going to target that creature and then target merfolk. It doesn't say one other. If it had chosen the wording of other, one other card that is a merfolk, or target 1 merfolk and then 1 other creature, then we would have to choose 2 targets. However, you can give the same target 2 counters. But the secondary one must be a merfolk, just in case you guys are running any sort of mixed tribe build. So again, max it out, go to 4, and make those cards unblockable. Next up, we're going to use Spell Pierce, because Spell Pierce activates much in the same way as Coppola's effect, except this one is more dramatic. On 1, we can counter target non-creature spell unless the player, the controller, pays an extra 2 mana. So if Coppola's on the board, they had to pay an extra 2 already. This is another extra 2. So this will stack with the effect. But the other one is a forced pay just to try to activate it. So again, you can definitely snuff out some spells cheap. And in the last instance, we run 2 copies of the Verdant Rebirth. Until the end of the turn, target creature gains when this creature dies, return it to the owner's hand, and draw 1 card. So any of the cards that say when this enters the battlefield, much like our Vine Shaper Mystic, you will be able to go ahead and also recycle those effects at this time. Next up, we will be using 2 copies of the enchantment Deep Root Waters, and this is going to tie up the rest of our deck. What this does is when you cast a merfolk spell, you may create a 1/1 blue merfolk token with hexproof. Hexproof is an effect that says that a creature with it may not be the target of spells or abilities that the opponent controls, as opposed to full on, I want to say the effect might be called Shroud in Magic, where it can't be targeted by anything. And so if you guys were looking for the tokens that this creates, they were released at this time as well. So I do have a small stack of these to go with the deck, but there's no need to show off more than one because they're all the same art. If there was more than one art, I didn't get them. So it just is what it is. So guys, I hope that you enjoyed this. And I'm going to try this one more time. You ready? My Ixalan block Merfolk tribal build. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you have, do the things or don't. And do the one thing. Do the most important one. It's the beginning of the week. I want you guys to have a great day. I want you guys to try to carry that great day energy through the rest of the week. because if we start off on the right foot, it's easier to continue on it. So for now, my friends, have a wonderful day and hope to see you guys again next time. Later.